திருமல யாத்திரை செல்ல வேண்டும் என் திருமலையப்பனை சேவிக்கவே.
Radhe Radhe. Humble pranams to all our beloved Bhagavatas of North America and beyond. And clutching the feet of our beloved Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharanyam Sri Muralidhara Swamiji, let us embark on this journey of the Tirumala Vaibhavam or Venkatesha Vaibhavam, especially as our offering for Vak Shuddhi and Bhava Shuddhi at the feet of our beloved Master, and the wonderful repository of grace and compassion was come in form of Aishwarya Srinivasa Perumal to bless the entire Western Hemisphere. He has right now found his abode in Houston, and he has come to bless the entire continent of North America and beyond. Just like how our Srinivasa Perumal has found his abode above the 7 hills to bless this entire universe, our Aishwarya Srinivasa Perumal has also found his lovely abode in Houston to bless the entire North America. He is our Swami, he is our deity, and our Alvar says, Yammana En Kula Deivame, that he has come to become our family deity, to be a part of our family in North America. So with humble prostrations to our Guru Maharaj and Aishwarya Srinivasa Perumal, let us embark on this divine journey with a prayer to Bhagavan that let the speaker not utter words which reduces the greatness and the sweetness of this Lord of the universe. Thidila murigal kondu un tiruppugal cheppa maaten, says Alvar. When even great Mahatmas are very hesitant to talk about such a great Vyakti called Srinivasa Perumal, to talk about such a sweet Vyakti called Bhagavan, where are we all? To talk about that infinite mountain of compassion and bliss. Yet Bhagavan has blessed us with a Vak. Bhagavan has blessed us with Aisna. Bhagavan has blessed us with the body. The least we can do is offer a small bit of it back to him as a prayer to purify all that which has been given to us. It's called Karana Kalebaram. We should not make a Kalebaram out of it. Na? That is the reason why, to whatever lights, to whatever extent we can understand, to whatever extent we can speak, we should think about and speak about our beloved Srinivasa Perumal. As you all know, our Srinivasa Perumal has a special place in the heart of our beloved Guru Maharaj, right from his childhood. He has confided that in Madhura Geetam, Palli Paruvam Tanil Taduthenai Aatkonda. Right from the time when I was in my early days of school, our Swamiji says, you came on your own behalf, you came on your own accord to bless me and to take me in your fold. Such is the special place Srinivasa Perumal has in all our hearts, because he has taken a permanent abode in the heart of our beloved Guru Maharaj. And with all that in mind, in this wonderful village called Govindapuram, we are started this journey of Tirumala Vaibhavam, Venkatesha Vaibhavam. And the moment we say Govinda, Govinda, all of us in Sanatana Dharma can remember only Srinivasa Perumal, isn't it? And so it is very fitting that our beloved Guru Maharaj has willed that we start our journey right from this holy abode of Govindapuram, because we are going to talk about the greatness of Govinda. And we are going to completely embark on this journey in accordance with our beloved Guru Maharaj, Paranur Mahatma Sri Sri Anna's divine work, Aruli Chayal, which goes by the name Divyadesa Vaibhavam. Yes, Sri Srinivasa Perumal has been sung by almost all Alvars, with the honorary exception of Tondaradi Pudi Alvar, who didn't want to see any other deity apart from Ranganatha Swami. All Alvars have sung our Srinivasa Perumal, and our Srinivasa Perumal is truly Purana Purusha. Not because he is the Purusha, Adi Purusha, the cause of the universe. Of course, he is. Keep that aside. All the 18 Puranas, all the Upapuranas have actually either talked about, sung about, adored our Srinivasa Perumal in detail, or at least there will be one mention about our Thiruvenkatam, about our Thiruvenkatamudayan, which is our Srinivasa Perumal. So he has been sung in all Puranas. Our Sri Sri Anna has collected the essence from all the Puranas and from the Sthala Purana also, and gave us lovely 10 chapters in Divyadesa Vaibhavam to celebrate the descent of divinity in form of Archavatara, in form of the deity which can be worshipped in temple. It is the most compassionate of all avatars. And when we say Archavataram, it means that Perumal who is in Vaikuntham, that Perumal is who is omnipresent everywhere, has decided to take a lovely form and be in the state of what is called as Archavadara Samadhi, so that he can bear all the excesses, so that he can bear all the small little apachara, all the small little wrongdoings we do, knowingly or unknowingly. And he has decided, I shall shower you with grace and grace alone. Generally, they say the greatest avatars of Bhagavan have two important work: Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. But here is an Archavatara, here is an avatar of Bhagavan who knows no himsa, who knows no himsa for even who do himsa. There is only Paritranaya Sadhunam. There is no Vinashaya cha Dushkritam also. Such is the compassion that this Archavatara Swami completely forbears all the excesses. Our Swamiji used to shed tears whenever he used to see the excesses done to a Perumal. Imagine if somebody is an important person in politics or in our own workplace or in our own village, would we ever make him wait? We would sort of fit in all other people's schedules to actually make sure that he doesn't wait enough. But how many times have we seen our own Vaikuntapati, the Lord of the universe, Lokadipati, Shriyapati, waiting with only a white vastram around his waist because somebody who has donated a paltry 1,000 rupees for Thirumanjanam, Abhishekam, the donor has not yet come. And so everybody is waiting. Our Perumal is waiting with one vastra in his waist so that some paltry donor for Abhishekam has not yet come. It boils our heart, na? But our Perumal is completely happy. He is completely cool about all these things. And he says, a samsari, in spite of all his trials and tribulations, has remembered me and he wanted to do Thirumanjan to me. How can I start without him coming? This compassion, I'm not sure even in Vibhavavatara, starting from our Kurmavatara or starting from Varavahatara to the latest Avatara, which is going to come, which is Kalki Avatara, none of these Vibhavavatara. Vibhavavatara means the various descents of divinity in this world or Devaloka. Like our Vamana Avataram or Narasimha Avataram or our Rama Avataram, etc. Even they may not have such a compassion which our Srinivasa Perumal as Archavataram has. And he has decided, I will stand motionless so that people can feel a sense of security to approach me. If we ever think about that Perumal as Lord of the universe, he knows every bit of what we did, what we are going to do, what we have done in the past. And he is Dharmasya Prabhu. He is Achyuta. Would we ever be brave enough to stand before him with all the misgivings, with all the lacunae? So Bhagavan decided, in spite of me being Sarvajna, I shall not show any of this to normal people. I shall just stand there motionless, only to shower these people with kripa. So to me, Archavatara is the highest avatara, because it has come here only to shower compassion, love, and grace. And compassion, love, and grace to such an extent, Titiksha, or we call it as Purumaina, we call it as forbearance, tolerance to an extent that when a thief comes inside with an absolutely contaminated, tainted mind to take all these ornaments of Perumal out there, Perumal continues to stay silent and to exhibit as it were, Enta matramunu yavvaru talachina anta matrame miru. Which means if a devotee comes with tremendous love in the heart, I will talk with him, I will cuddle him, I will do lalana to him. If a thief comes with an intention to steal the ornaments, why should I talk to him? Why should I show him my presence? So let him take what he has come here for. And Bhagavan is absolutely silent. That is the compassion. And a true Sanatana Dharmi, especially in this yuga, should realize the greatness and grandness of Archavataras. Our Swamiji, whenever we visit any city, would say, run to a nearby temple, run to a nearby Divyadesa, and go and visit him. And the example Swamiji says is, if somebody comes from, say, Boston or Seattle or Virginia to India, to Chennai, what would they immediately think? They would think, I have my uncle, I have my aunt, I have my own beloved grandmother, all nearby in a few kilometers. I need to somehow fit in a schedule to meet them all, isn't it? Our Swamiji says, I have no shyness, or I am not embarrassed to admit that I have 108 mothers. He said that in Kanchipuram. He said, every Divyadesa Tayar is my mother. And how can I ever complain? How can I have any defects, or how can I even have any complaints when one mother is enough to take care of 10 children? Our Swamiji says, this child has 108 mothers to take care of me. So, Kurayondrum illai. I have absolutely no complaints. I am Purna. I am full. I am complete. Why? Because of the blessings of 108 mothers, starting with our Ranganayaki Tayar and our Padmavati Tayar and Perundevi Tayar, you see. And that is how Mahatmas teach us to relate to Archavatars, you see. To have an attachment, to have a bond, a running relationship, ongoing relationship with an Archavatara, so that we can get the maximum benefit out of Mahatmas instilling Archavatarams in various places. And now we have Archavatarams in Namadwaars also in America, isn't it? Each of this, our Swamiji has pleaded with Perumal. He has pleaded with Divinity, our Radha Krishna, or our Srinivasa Perumal, to beg him to please be there in the place where he is sending, so that the families around that place can be blessed by your presence. When he says he's sending a deity, he's sending an Archavataram, he's sending Perumal also, na? He's sending Bhavat Kripa also along with Archavataram. Na? That is the wonderful Bhagyam unasked. Did we ever ask for all this? But that is the Kripa of an Acharya Purusha. Naram dadati iti naradaha. And a guru, out of his love, out of his tremendous emotional love towards Bhagavan, divine love towards Bhagavan, has made Bhagavan beholden to an Acharya. And Bhagavan will do the bidding of Acharya out of the divine love. That's what he confides in Ambarisha Charitra in Bhagavatam, where he says, the sadhus, the Mahatmas have completely made me It is Bhagavan's word. I am afraid to even tell it. As their servant, he says. Aham bhakta paradinaha. What does paradina means? I am totally dependent on them. I shall do their bidding. I am bhakta bhaktaha, says Bhagavan. And such are the Acharya Purushas. And out of their tremendous compassion towards us, they go and beseech, plead to Perumal and say, can you please, forever, till sun and moon are there in this universe, be stationed. Make this city your abode so that the entire continent can be blessed. The entire country can be blessed. And that's the bhagyam you and me are enjoying. Being where we are, divinity is coming in search of us. Can you imagine that fortune? Money can come in search of us. It is karma. Power and position, karma. But one thing cannot be explained by karma, which is divinity, satsang, guru kripa, cannot be explained by karma. Because this is way beyond all that. That is bestowed out of the infinite compassion of an Acharya, out of the infinite compassion of Bhagavan. And that's what we are all very fortunate to be bestowed with. Generally, in our Sanatanama, they say, Sanatana Dharma, don't go and settle in a place where there is no temples. You see. So, first thing a person would ask if they have to settle in a city, generally in our tradition is, which Perumal has blessed that place? Yenda Perumal எழுந்தருள் இருக்கார் அந்த இடத்துல. If the Perumal has found his abode in that place, then only I'll go and settle there. But look at our fortune. Out of the necessity, I know each of you were driven out of necessity to move away from your native place, your native city, to settle in a faraway land. And you have not forgot Perumal, and Perumal has not forgotten us, which is the reason why he is crossing seas to come and be with us in form of Radha Krishna Yugal Sarkar in Namadwaar, or the little lovely Utsava Perumals in various homes. And above all, Sarvaloka Sharanya Shri Seshadri Shikara Prabhu. He is the one who gives refuge to Sarvalokam. So obviously he has to come to the places where we seek refuge, isn't it? So he has traveled the seas for 2-3 months, all alone, Sai Ekaha, to be as one of us in this wonderful family, divine family of ours. And that is the beauty of our fortune. So how can we not celebrate him? How can we not extol him? How can we not talk about him? And so as a small effort, this child also has taken this little journey towards talking about that which is beyond Vachanugochara. Vachamagochara. It is beyond words, it is beyond thoughts. Yet, because we are bestowed with a vak, we are trying to extol it. So let us start our Tirumala Vaibhavam in the right earnest in this holy city of Govindapuram with the blessings of our beloved Guru Maharaj through the divine work called Divyadesa Vaibhavam by Paranur Mahatma Sri Sri Anna. Lakshmi Natha Samarambam Natha Yamuna Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuda Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohadastaditarani Trinayamene Asmadguror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanam Sharanam Prapadye Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Vaibhavam Divyadeshanam Puraneshu Prakirtitam Katitam Kavya Rupena Krishnapremi Kasurina Tirthasnana Palam Sarvam Kshetra Yatra Palam Tata Patatam Shunvatan Chapi Sulabam Nahi Samshayaha Namah Shri Ranganathaya Kaveri Madhyashahine Archavatara Sresthaya Sarvamangaladhayine. Let us start with our Dhyana Shloka of our beloved Guru Maharaj, Sri Sri Anna. Hare Rameti Krishneti Nama Sankirtanam Sada Lokakshemaya Kurvantam Premikam Sadgurum Bhaje Radhika Kuchakasturi Kumkumankita Vakshasam Shringara Rasamurtim Tam Bhakta Kola Kalam Bhaje. Our own beloved Guru Maharaj Dhyana Shloka. Kalage Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam Ajnana Nashakam Devam Sadgurum Muralidharam. Our beloved Thakurji, who is the center of our existence, who is stationed in Madhurapuri and present everywhere, each of our homes and some corner of each of our hearts. Murali Mandita Karakamalam Munijana Mohanam Vyatyasta Padam Vanamala Dharinam Mandala Nityakirtitam Premika Varadam Ashrayekam Srimate Sarvajivanam Sharanyaya Krupalave Narayanaya Haraye Sri Ranga Brahmane Namaha. And then we will start this chapter on Sri Venkatesha Vaibhavam with a wonderful shloka celebrating our Srinivasa Perumal. Samasta Kalyana Gunabhiramam Ramanivasam Ramaniya Gatram Sakachakram Jagatam Sharanyam Sri Venkatesham Sharanam Prapadye. Here, our Srinivasa Perumal is celebrated as Samasta Kalyana Gunabhiramam. Generally, when we say divinity, we say Nirgunam, Nirgunam, isn't it? For Bhaktas, the word Nirgunam has a very different meaning. It does not mean devoid of any gunas or qualities. It means devoid of all worldly qualities. And our beloved Srinivasa Perumal is a repository of all divine, fantastic, unimaginable divine qualities, starting from Sarva Shakta, that he is all powerful and he is omnipresent. He is the one who rewards the fruit of our actions. He is the one sitting in our hearts as Antaryami to make us speak, make us listen, make us see. And he is the one who is the Sarva Loka Nayakaha, Niyamakaha, Sarva Niyamaka. It is out of his will that we have a time controlling the movement of planets, the movement of stars, the movement of systems. And it is out of his will that a seed becomes a plant. Prakriti is his power. All that is Kalyana Gunam. With all that, he has the grandest of all divine qualities, which is directly going to be of tremendous utility to people like us. He is Sarva Sharanyam, you see. If somebody with all their misgivings, with a horrible past, with a tainted mind, totally undeserving, cries out to Bhagavan and says, Sarvaloka Sharanya, Seshadri Shikara Prabhu, Abhayam Dehi, Govinda, Makyam Dinaya Madhava. The moment you go and surrender to our Srinivasa Perumal, he does not see our history. He does not see what we are or what we were or what our karma is going to put us through. He immediately gives refuge. He immediately gives us Abhayam. He immediately becomes a Sharanya the moment we do Sharanagati. Samasta Kalyana Gunabhiramam. And the very divine name of Perumal shows his divine stature. Ramanivasam Ramaniya Gatram Sri Nivasaha. Our Sri, the mother of the universe, Rama, Sri Devi, is ever present. And she said, Agali Gille Nirayum Yendru Alar Mel Mangai Urai Marba. She has taken her place in the heart, in the Vakshasthala, permanently of Srinivasa Perumal, so that each time Perumal sees each of us, the mother is there to argue for us. When a child with all its defects have to stand before a father, the child will look for support. Now the father may see the misgivings or the defects in a child. A mother would never see it. So our Perumal ensured that we always have the mother's support, irrespective of what we do, where we are, etc. And he ensured our Sri Devi, Tayar, mother, constantly is in his Vakshasthala. And so we can boldly go and stand before him. Because mother is there to take care of us. Ramani Vasam Ramaniya Gatram, wonderful, lovely form. We are going to see the description of his form in this chapter itself. Sashanka Chakram Jagatam Sharanyam, with Shanka Chakra, and then Varadahasta and Katihasta. Our divine Srinivasa Perumal exudes beauty and grandeur and majesty in his divine form. Sashanka Chakram Jagatam Sharanyam. He is the sole refuge for the entire universe, for anybody, right from the smallest ant to highest Brahma. Everybody seeks refuge in the lotus feet of Srinivasa Perumal. Shri Venkatesham Sharanam Prapadye. Here our Perumal is called Sri Venkatesham. There is a small hill on which he is stationed. It's called Venkatagiri or Venkatachailam. And he is the lord of that Venkatachailam. He is the lord of the 7 hills. Venkatam means that which burns all our karma. That which burns all our defects is Venkatam. He is the lord of Venkata. So he is called Venkatesham. Sharanam Prapadye. Starting with Sharanagati. That I completely take refuge unto your lotus feet. This is how you approach Perumal. With Venkatesha Perumal alone, see, each of the Archavatara Perumal have a different way of emoting with people. Some Perumal have more informality and spontaneity. Some Perumal are majestic. We should know how to approach each Perumal. Everybody is Vishnu, all that is right. But then each of the Archavatara Perumal has their own unique traits. Mahatmas only know that. Alvars know that. So if you approach the Perumal the way in which Alvar approaches, then we can fully get the benefit of that relationship. We can't be informal with Srinivasa Perumal. We can't try to do excesses with Srinivasa Perumal, right? Because that is the unique trait. All the Alvars who have sung Srinivasa Perumal, all the Mahatmas who stood in the divine presence of Srinivasa Perumal in Tirumala, finally cried out to give refuge at his lotus feet, without exception, you see. Whenever they wanted that refuge, whenever they wanted to surrender, they always used to cry out to Srinivasa Perumal, majestic Perumal. You can't be informal with him. And we have to be very, when I say informal, of course you can have love. But that love is a love of a servant to the master in the spirit of surrender. That's how Alvars have done. The same Alvars who have even become upset with Perumal. And many times they have said, they have taken that liberty to say, well, you live well, in a sense that you have not given me darshan. So in a very, a tone of loving anger, Alvars have talked to other Perumals. But all the Alvars, when they come before Srinivasa Perumal, raise their hand above their head and then cry for refuge at the lotus feet. And that's the lovely greatness of Perumal. See, Alvar, Namadwaar. Ulagam unda peruvaya, ulapil kirti ammane, nilavum sudar suloli murti, nediyai adiyen aruyire, tiladam ulag kai nindra, Tiruvenkadatham Perumane, Kulatoladiyen unapadam, Kudumar Kuraye. Look at this, he's saying, Adiyen, Adiyen, that I am your dasa, I am your servant. Please tell one word that come, you belong to me and you shall ever rest with me. Kudumaru Kudaye. Why don't you just say once that, come here, you belong to me. You shall always be with me. That's how they beseech. That's how they plead. That's our Srinivasa Perumal. The very epitome of the one who grants refuge to those who cry out in the divine fervor of surrender, divine surrender, Sharanagati. That's why when we celebrate Perumal, Sashanka Chakram Jagatam Sharanyam Sri Venkatesham Sharanam Prapatye. Let us all surrender to the lotus feet of our Perumal to bless us with the devotion, to bless us with bhakti, so that we can enjoy this Venkatesha Vaibhavam as we go ahead. And our Acharya says, Vakshyami Seshachala Vaibhavam Tat Samasta Sanmangala Dayakam Cha Tapatrayasyapi Vinashanam Cha Bhakti Pradam Sridhara Pada Padme. At the very start, Sri Anna is blessing us that I am telling you, Sri Anna says, I am revealing the Seshachala Mahatmyam, the greatness of the seven hills, in particular the Seshachala. And it is that is Samasta San Mangala Dayakam Cha. You don't have to go anywhere else for any of our needs. Once we surrender to this wonderful Perumal, Srinivasa Perumal, whether it is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, all these are Mangalam. Whether it is Mangalam for the body, Mangalam for Vak, or Mangalam for Manas, or Mangalam for our Atma, everything is bestowed by our Srinivasa Perumal. In fact, our Sri Anna says, the Seshachala Vaibhavam itself can completely destroy all our three types of pains, miseries, challenges. Adi Devikam, Adi Bhautikam, Adhyatmikam. Those miseries which are contributed by the forces of nature, like flooding, earthquake, too much heat, too much rain, too much cold, hurricanes, etc. That's called Adi Devika Tapam. And then there is problems created by other created beings, including our own humans, or snakes, or microbes, etc. It's called Adi Bhautikam. And then in spite of all that, we create our own trouble. Now, most of our troubles are created by our own mental imagination, misunderstanding, misperception, lack of relationships, etc. It's called Adhyatmika. So we say Tapatrayam. The pain or the suffering we face is from these three agencies. Here, he is blessing us. Tapatrayasyapi vinashanam cha. It will completely annul all our tapam. Just listening to the Divyadesa Vaibhavam of our Tirumala, our Sri Venkatesha Vaibhavam. And above all that, it blesses us with something which we can't even imagine. It blesses us with the real purpose of existence of you and me, which is Bhakti Pradam Sridhara Pada Padme. It will bless us with divine love towards the feet of Perumal. You see, that which we can't earn, we can't create that for ourselves. That can only be bestowed. And he says, Divyadesa Vaibhavam of our Tirumala, of our Perumal, blesses us with Bhakti. Bhakti Pradam Sridhara Pada Padme. Avirbhavastanam idham ramaya tata sudhayaha sashinaha surabhyaha cintamanehe kalpataroho yedheva vishnoho param dhama virajate tat. Whenever you need to talk about descent of divinity, the story almost always starts from this place. Generally, Bhagavan is complete in his divine presence as per Bhakti Sampradaya, Srivaishnava Sampradaya, in 5 dhamas, in 5 states. The highest is obviously Vaikuntham. It's called Parampadam. Nobody can get into Paramapadam except Jnanis who have completely surrendered and blessed by an Acharya. So, highest place. Devas can't go. Munis can't go. Nobody can go. Only those who are blessed by their acharyas, who have completely surrendered to Perumal and become a jnani by divine grace, can enter that Paramapada, Vaikuntha, where our Vaikunthanatha with Sridevi, Bhudevi, Neela Devi, with one feet folded and hand above that feet. You can see that wonderful form of Vaikunthanatha in one of the 11 Divyadesas in Sirgadi near Nangur, and also in the southern part of India near Tirunelveli, Totakri Kshetram, where Vaikunthanathan is sitting like that. And all the Nitya Suris are there. There are only two types of fortunate folks in Vaikuntha. One are Nityas, and the second class of people are Muktas. People like Periya Tiruvadi, like our Garuda Alvar, Visvakshena, etc. They are all Nityas. They have always been in Vaikuntha. And Muktas are those who were samsaris, but out of the tremendous kripa of Acharya, they have become jnanis, they have become muktas, and they are fortunate to eternally be in Vaikuntha. And what do? They constantly drink this wonderful Divya Anubhavam of divinity. Sada Pashyanti Suraya. That is Vaikuntham, highest state there. But then Devas can't come there, you see. And Bhagavan is just blessing and showering all the Nitya Suris with his divine beauty, majesty, etc. Bhagavan also has to run this universe now. He has to run his Leela Vibhuti now. For that, he needs what is called as a Karyalayam. He needs an office where he can meet Devas, Munis, Bhagavatas, whoever come there. And whenever Devas need some help, they have to come and approach Bhagavan somewhere. That Karyalayam is the second state of Bhagavan's being. It is what is called as Ksheerabdi. That's where our Bhagavan is, Ksheerabdi. And the third presence or the third state of our divinity, Bhagavan, Sriman Narayanan, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is the various descents or avatars. We are going to see that also here. Starting from Matsyavatara or starting from our Varahavatara to Ramavatara and our own Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And now he also is going to come as Kalki. All those avatars are the next manifestations of divinity. And then he is also as the indweller and inner controller called Antaryami in all of us, including all living beings. Antaryami. Only yogis can dig in deep into their own heart to find our beloved Bhagavan, Antaryami. And then comes the grandest of all avatars. That avatara which you all, which I, you, everybody can emote with, relate with, see with our physical eyes. The same Vaikuntapati can be seen and relished in this avatara called Archavatara as deity in the temples, the 5 states of our beloved Bhagavan's presence. And the second state is this Ksheerabdi. Avirbhavastanam idham ramaya. See the love all the bhaktas and acharyas have for the mother of the universe even before the father of the universe. Here he is saying, we know what the Ksheerabdi is. Whenever somebody is afflicted with poverty, with a thatched roof home, with lot of holes in the roof, etc., and he is in abject poverty, if the mother of the universe, Lakshmi Devi, blesses him with a sidelong glance, Kataksha Lesham, that thatched roof house instantaneously can become a Kubera Bhavanam. It can become the grandest palace of the richest person in the universe called Kubera. You see, that is the power, that is the affluence, that is the opulence of our mother of the universe, Rama Devi, Sri Devi. And all those things which are supposed to bestow us prosperity and abundance, be it, we all heard about Kalpa Vriksham. Kalpa Vriksham, like this tree, is present in Devalok. Whatever you wish, sitting under the tree, it will fulfill. Imagine that. And then there is Kamadhenu. It is a divine cow. And whatever you want, she can give. She assisted Vasishta Bhagavan to conquer an inexhaustible army of Viswamitra Maharshi himself when he was a Raja. Kamadenu. Then there is this little gem called Chintamani. At least these are all cows and trees. It is just a gem. You make a small ring and put it in your finger. Whatever you want from that ring, it will give Chintamani. And then there are some divine horses like Uchchaishravas. There are divine elephants like Airavatam. All these are signs of opulence. Above all that, you have Amrita Kalasam, which can bestow Amrtatvam. You see, all this have this power to bestow affluence, opulence, grandness, grandeur. Why? Because they all originated from the birthplace of our Mother of the Universe. You say, na, Porandavidu. To such an extent, this birthplace of our Sridevi Tayar is so much filled with opulence that all her brothers, na, who is Kalpavriksha, our Sridevi Tayar's brother, who is our Chandran, our moon. Moon also came from Ksheerabdi only, na. And the moon, which spreads its cool rays to completely make us forget the heat of the day, is also the brother of our Tayar. Na? That's why, that's the beauty of our tradition. Na? Whenever we take a small child to the terrace and we show the moon to the child, do you know what our grandmother and grandfather used to show the moon as? Chanda Mama. That our Chandra or the moon out there is Mamaji. Why? Because Sri Devi is the mother of the universe. The brother of the mother is addressed as Mama only. Na? So the Chandran, who is the brother of our Sri Devi Tayar, is addressed as Mama for everybody in this world. He is the Mama for our grandfather, he is the Mama for our father, he is the Mama for us also. Such is the greatness of this ocean called Milky Ocean. Ksheerabdi. It can be experienced only by yogic power or absolute bhakti. There have been Mahatmas in our lifetime who have been there. And you might have heard about that Mahatma. But you know the beauty of his experience. Out of his tremendous love towards Bhagavan, just by crying out in love, just by the power of his surrender to Bhagavan's feet, he became fit to actually travel up to Ksheerabdi. Why he went even up to Vaikuntha, but that's a different story. He had Ksheerabdi's experience. And you know, it is not just symbolically called as Milky Ocean. You actually found that when he had the Ksheerabdi's experience and came back, in yogic, it's not a physical movement, I hope you understand that. For the next 1 week, anything he was associated with, including his upper garment, including his dhoti, smelt of divine milk for 1 week. You see, there are things beyond our intellect. Ksheerabdi is Ksheerabdi. And people who have had the experience of Ksheerabdi, which is a divine experience, not physically moving from here to some world, etc. You know that we could actually see or perceive a smell of some divine smell of milk from even the clothes which they were wearing during that experience. Spirituality is way beyond our intellect. If we have the fortune of faith to fold our hands and realize Bhagavan in those 5 states, we are all fortunate. And the normal ocean itself is called Ratnakara. It is a storehouse of so much of gems, corals, pearls, etc. And people used to dive in and take the mud from the ocean floor, filter it, and take all these gems out. And this is Milky Ocean giving us divine treasures which can bestow anything which we want. All this is because Avirbhavastanamidam Ramaya Tata Sudhayaha Sashinaha Surabhyaha. All these divine things which we talked about. The Amrita Kalasam Sudhayaha Sashinaha Chanda Mama Surabhyaha Kamadenu Chintamanir, that divine gem, wish-fulfilling gem. Kalpataror yedeva Vishnoho param dham virajate tat. The param dhama of our Vishnu, param dhama of our Lord Narayana is also in this lovely state of Ksheerabdi. Bhagavan went and settled in the birthplace of Ramadevi. You see. Such is the pull of the birthplace of our mother, Sridevi Taya. Tapodananam cha divaukasam cha gandharva vidyadhara kinnaranam muhur muhuhu daitya vihimsitanam sharanyametat padameva vishnoho. As we saw, the Parama Padam or Vaikuntham cannot be approached by all these Tapodanas or Devas or Gandharva, Vidyadhara, Charanas, etc., Kinnaras. But that's the Leela of Bhagavan, that he always created world with opposites. If you have an Amrita Phalam like Amala, there is also Etika, which is made of poison, you see. If you have a very gentle, lovely creature like a deer and a cow, there is also a poisonous and angry creature called snake. This whole world, Bhagavan has created as a tension between opposites, you see. That's the beauty of this universe. So likewise, when there are Devas, there are Asuras also. So always there used to be a problem between these two. So whenever these Asuras used to really trouble the Devas suddenly remember, oh, there is somebody called Bhagavan, let me go and worship him. Where can they approach him? They can't approach him in Vaikuntham. So whenever Devas feel a need for protection, that's typically when they will remember Bhagavan. Bhagavan knows it, he accepts it. Some of us are Devas also, a little bit. When there is trouble, we immediately remember, of course, we have a refuge. We have Acharya, we have our Guru, we have Bhagavan. They are called Artha Bhaktas, you see. Bhagavan says, they are Bhaktas. Don't judge them. How dare you? They are coming to me, na? I am happy that they are coming to me. Even if it is for an agenda of getting relieved of affliction. Not all can be Prema Bhaktas, na? Suppose once a Mahatma went to see another Mahatma. And that Mahatma asked, oh, you have come here in a Vishayam. What is the matter? He said, I came here only to Ayam hi paramo lavaha uttama shloka darshana. So I just came here to have your darshan only. Then that other Mahatma who was visited by this Mahatma for darshan smiled and said, then you have become Purna. If you have no agenda at all, if you have no desire at all, if you have no need at all, you just came for darshan of a Mahatma, you are Purna. You see, how many of us can be Purna? In the normal world, in Satsanga, all of us are Purna. I'm not talking about our little family. I'm talking about the extended family. People remember Bhagavan when they are afflicted, like these Devas. Muhur muhuhu daitya vihimsitanam sharanyametat padameva vishnoho. If Narada Maharshi comes to sing the Leelas of Bhagavan, Bhagavan won't ask me, enna vishayam? Why did you come? Because Narada Maharshi is a Prema Acharya, right? But when Devas come suddenly to the temple, Bhagavan knows they must be having a need. Let me quickly fulfill their need so that they don't feel uncomfortable standing around waiting to tell their need. So here, whenever Devas have a need of affliction, Artha, because they have been afflicted by these Daityas coming and troubling them. See, in a way, Daityas are blessings for Devas because they are making them remember Bhagavan. They are actually blessing the Devas with darshan of Bhagavan. Bhagavan at times for Devas to come every now and then to visit him, maybe he created Daityas. We don't know. So he is saying the people who are tapasvis, like the Mahatma which I just talked about, and Devas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Kinnaras, these are all higher class of beings. Some are very good in dancing. And many of the great divine poets have heard them sing. And they have blessed the raga which they have heard from them to us, you see, whether it is Hindustani or Carnatic. Some of the divine ragas have been captured by these poets from Gandharvas singing it. Even in recent times, our Swamiji used to relate this. Why I'm telling you all that is, these are not just words. These are all celestial beings, which are all true. And that's why our Swamiji says that Devarum terivare, Deivamum pesumam, Ulagam vanangi. Once we progress in the bhakti by chanting the divine name incessantly, even normal people like you and me can see the devas. When we enter our ashram, there is a small Tulasi Madam. Once you enter the grand gate, you have this wonderful pathway, which is the kiln big pathway. And to our right, immediately, there is a small fence with a lot of Tulsi Devi around and a small little Pidam, a small platform where our main Tulasi Mata resides under the shadow of our Nelly, gooseberry tree, isn't it? Below that, if you have seen carefully, there is a Kamadhenu, a small archai of Kamadhenu. You know why? Because Kamadhenu Sakshatkara happened in that place. So, just like when rishis have a Sakshatkara of a deity, they build a temple. Kamadhenu is not divinity itself, but a small aspect of divinity and to be respected. So, Swamiji has put a small Kamadhenu's archai, small deity of Kamadhenu there. Which means, if you want anything worldly, an affliction or a need to be fulfilled, it is done the moment you enter itself. Kamadhenu is at the gate. She is not in some Sannidhi inside. That which is in Sannidhi is Prema Pradhan and Prema Vashyan, which is our Thakurji. So as we enter the ashram, our Tulsi Devi is there to take care of our bodily needs, health. And our Amla Swami is there. He is Vishnu Swarupam. Our Tulsi Devi is our Sri Devi is Amsam. And then Kamadhenu is there. And then you take two more steps, there is Gomata there. All our needs are already fulfilled, even before we enter into Bhagavata Bhavanam. That is the whole tattva of this Madhurapuri. Madhurapuri is sweetness embodied. Before we can taste something sweet, that which is stopping us from tasting the sweetness has to be taken care of. For example, if you or me have fever, and our mother makes a lovely halwa for us. The moment I put it in my mouth, I will say it is bitter. Halwa is not bitter. I have fever. I have a need. I have a problem. I have an affliction. Only when the afflictions are taken care of or the afflictions are gotten rid of, we can enjoy the sweetness. That's why as you enter Madhurapuri, all that which can take care of our afflictions are there at the gate. So that we can get rid of our afflictions. And through the Bhuloga Kalpa Vriksha, we have Parijata tree also. And we have our Tulsi Devi, we have our Amla Deva, our Kamadhenu and Gomata. In the left, you have this wonderful Gomata's shed. As we enter, then all our needs, afflictions are taken care. And finally, we are ready for Bhagavata Bhavanam, and hence we are ready for the sweetness in form of our Sri Madhuri Sakhi Sameta Sri Premikavardha Thakur. See how beautifully it is naturally perfect. You see, when a Mahatma does something, it's perfect. And I'm just saying what is in my lights. Perfection is something way beyond. Even to a limited knowledge, it looks so beautiful and perfect. I'm not saying this is why it is there. It is one way of looking and relishing. It is like different types of people trying to size up an elephant. Somebody caught hold of the tail, somebody caught hold of the trunk. Nobody can understand the full picture. Likewise, Mahatmas cannot be understood fully. We are just trying to relish that. You see. So here, our Ksheerabdi is a place where people can go and surrender. People can go and report to Bhagavan. People can go and take refuge. Bhagavan's grace. Tapodananam cha divaukasam cha gandharva vidyadara kinnaranam muhur daitya vihimsitanam sharanyametat padameva Vishnoho. So Ksheerabdi is the Karyalayam. Ksheerabdi is the office for Bhagavan to meet all these people. Right from Devas, all the Tapasvis, Gandharva, Vidyadhara, Kinnara, etc. And they all come and beseech Perumal. They all plead with Perumal. They all surrender to Perumal to protect. Like we read in Bhagavatam, even during the Krishnapremi, all the Devas, they went to the shore Tiram Ksheerapayonide, to plead with Perumal and beg Perumal and pray to Perumal so that these daityas, all these asuric people in this world, they were creating so much trouble for sadhus. People couldn't live peacefully. Even our Bhuma Devi could not bear the burden of these people becoming ungrateful to Perumal and not even chanting the divine names. And so everybody went and surrendered in Tiram Kshira Payonide. Any Avatara prayers happen in Ksheerabdi. Whenever Bhagavan decides to descend, it is decided in this wonderful room, temple called Ksheerabdi, you see. And our Divyadesa Vaibhavam of Tirumala starts in this divine place, Ksheerabdi. And in Ksheerambu there Lola Taranga Jalaihi Lolayamane Panirajatalpe Sukam Shayanaha Purushottamo Atra Sandrishyate Yoganimili Takshaha. In that our Bhagavan is resting with his long hands and feet in a posture of Yoga Nidra, eyes almost closed, and our Adisesha becoming a very soft and a beautiful and a cuddly bed for our Vishnu, our Sri Devi doing Pada Seva. And here the beauty is, our Sri Anna is saying, it is like our Ksheerabdi has become, various waves are there in Ksheerabdi, na? And this little Bhagavan with Sri Devi and our Adisesha are slowly floating around in Ksheerabdi like a cradle. Like when you want to put a child to sleep, you slowly rock the cradle. Na? So even my child, you and me, when we are rocked softly, we all fall asleep. Na? Likewise, the Ksheerabdi is giving tremendous joyful comfort to our Bhagavan Vishnu, where he is reclining in the seat, the bed of our Adisesha. And because of this lovely cradle-like rocking of the waves of Ksheerabdi, he appears to have gone into Yoga Nidra with closed eyes. Sukam Shayanaha Purushottamo Atra Sandrishyate Yoga Nimili Takshaha. With that wonderful picture of our Perumal in Ksheerabdi, like a blue gem, blue emerald, in a wonderful expanse of white milky ocean. And our Adisesha, his bed, and our own mother, Sri Devi Tayar, gently pressing his feet. With that wonderful picture, we will conclude today's satsang. And from Ksheerabdi, our Narada Maharshi is going to come singing, and he is going to appeal to Bhagavan to descend as Archavatara. We'll see that in the weeks to come with the grace of our beloved Guru Maharaj. Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Kayena Vacha Manasendriyirva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Adyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami. Let us all chant Mahamantra thrice. And I look forward to continue this wonderful story of our Srinivasa Perumal's descent to this world. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Sadguru Maharaj ki Jai. Radhe Radhe.